Awesome. We've got Philippa from Russell, Ontario, which I've been there, visited Philippa down there many years ago. Hey, Philippa. We've got Carol from Barrie. Love you too, Carol. Excited to chat with you guys tonight. Tina from Charleston, welcome. Nobody's sharing fun facts. I shared that I have a fun Shayna side that comes out when I maybe have one too many glasses of wine. I need some fun facts from you guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Awesome. Okay, so keep the chat going, and you guys, I can't necessarily see the chat here. Let me just pull it up. So if you guys have questions as we go, if you want to ask them live, just unmute your line, and I'm going to go ahead and mute actually everybody's line right now. And you can unmute yourself if you do have a question. And I'm going to pull up the chat. There we go. So now I have the chat. Awesome. Okay, everyone, awesome stuff. So you can use the chat, I can see it. So if you want to ask a question as we go, I'll try and keep my eyes up on the chat. If you want to unmute yourself, you can, but keep introducing yourself. Chris Hunking is from Stratford, and she is a young grandma. We love that. Jen's fun fact is she once played a dominatrix on the L Word. She's an actress, nice, and a writer and a vision coach. I love that. Fun facts are always fun. All right, guys, let's dive in tonight to this training. So tonight I want to do, it's an encore presentation or an encore chat from the 3 video series that I launched last week on how to create an impact and an income in the online space. Plus, I'm going to be tackling the number one fear that I get from most people when we talk about creating a business online, which is the imposter syndrome. So I want to talk about that as well. So I'm really excited. So before I dig into the content, just to introduce myself, for a lot of you guys, we've had lots of chats. Some of you guys know me, but if you are watching this tonight, you don't know me. My name is Shayna Recker. I am from London, Ontario. I'm a mom of 3. I have my husband, Jason, who I believe is on here tonight, and watching me as well. And I started out my entrepreneurial journey as a network marketer. I'm still a network marketer. I have 9 years network marketing experience. I love that business, but I'm also a huge believer in multiple streams of income. And because of my network marketing business, I've learned a lot about online business. I started falling in love with the social media. I felt, like understanding funnels and creating a personal brand around yourself. I saw a really big need for that as myself as an online or as a network marketer, to kind of detach myself a bit from my company and create a brand around myself. Which led me into coaching and teaching. That was something that I was always told that I was, quote unquote, good at, was like teaching people. And I didn't know at the time that I was going to turn into me, coaching online, but I love doing this stuff, you guys. Like doing this kind of presentation tonight and chatting with you guys and teaching makes me so excited. So I knew that it was something that I had to explore, which led me to becoming an online business coach, to teach people how to build a strong foundation for their online businesses so they can get their message and their mission and their brand out in the world. The gap that I was seeing with that is there were a lot of people who wanted to start online businesses, but they didn't know how. There was overwhelm, the technology scared them, they just didn't understand it. So I want to fill that gap and help as many people as I can create the foundation for their business, take away the overwhelm, show them the technology, because I'm a total tech geek, and help them get the pieces and parts put together for their online business. And so that's what I'm here today doing. And I love this space. And I'm learning about all of this stuff as I go. So hopefully I can answer all your questions tonight. But if there's something that stumps me as we go through this, I will make sure that I find the answer for you. Awesome. Okay, so let's dig in. And I love that the fun facts are still coming up. Awesome. Keep it going, you guys. So we did this, use the chat to share your name, where you're from, something fun about you guys. If you want to share your Instagram handle, go ahead and do that as well. You guys can follow each other and stuff. That's always fun too. Okay, so I want to start with some facts about the online space. I want to talk about, I've got 3 facts about being in that online space that are totally mind-blowing. So the first fact is that there are an estimated 1.92 billion people expected to purchase something online in 2019. Like, gone are the days where people are afraid to pull out their credit card and put it into, the web, right? Like, people are totally comfortable buying things online and buying anything and everything. How many of you guys shop on Amazon Like I honestly, some days it's like 3 days in a row I've bought something on Amazon, you know, because it's like Amazon Prime, there's free shipping, it just is easy. So this is like the thing. People are comfortable shopping online, buying not only products, but services. All kinds of things are being purchased online. And those purchases, you guys, those purchases that people are making are going to be responsible for about $3.45 trillion in sales just in 2019. So it's like, when you think about that, people are shopping online, there's that much revenue going through the e-commerce system. You know, it makes sense to have something available in the online space for people to buy. Like, how much of that $1 trillion industry do you want a piece of? And so I just think like it's so mind blowing that, like, you know, there was a day when people were afraid to, you know, put their credit cards online. And now there's people who don't go out and do any of their shopping anymore. They're doing it all online, right? Automated a lot of it too, right? So it's pretty crazy. And this one is also really interesting, especially when it comes to thinking about building a brand or a business in the online space, because one of the tools we use the most to share who we are and what we do is social media. And over half the world, almost half the world, is using social media right now. There's 3.5 billion people on social media. So all over the world. And there are countries that are still not on yet, that are still just starting to get on online and on the online space and into social media. So like we're really just like, we still have so much room to grow in this space. Is this not mind blowing to you guys? Like, to me, looking at these numbers, I was like, whoa, like this is huge, right? It's such a big space to play. So I want to talk tonight about the I want to talk about a few different things, but in this first section, I want to talk about the 3 impacts. I don't even know if that's proper grammar, but the 3 impacts of owning an online business for you and others. Okay, so we're going to do 3 of these and then we're going to go into the next section. So the first impact of owning an online business or being in that online space is that with as you saw in those numbers, you know, versus having a bricks and mortar business or doing something locally, when you're doing something online, and I mean, I know this is a no-brainer, but it's got to be said, you can impact so many more people, right? Like there is an abundant amount of people on this planet that are online and they're looking for products and services that they're looking for products and services that you can help them with, right? Like you can Google anything. Like if you think that people aren't looking for what your idea is, like what you want to offer in the online space, the business that you want to offer, and you think, oh, well, you know, I get this all the time. Well, I don't know who's going to buy this. People are Googling everything. Like honestly, you can type in almost anything into Google. And if you type it into Google and Google finishes your sentences, that means somebody has already Googled that. So if you're curious, if someone's looking for whatever it is that you want to offer, go and Google it and see if it exists already. I guarantee you it does. There are 5 billion Google searches every day. Like people are looking for stuff online. They're looking for you and they want to learn from you. They want to know what you know. And it's so true. So number 1, you can have a much bigger impact when you use the online space for your business. It's just the way that it is, right? Number 2, it has never been easier for you to make that impact in the online space. It's never, been cheaper for you to start an online business or brand online. It's just never been cheaper to make that impact, to build that platform for your business. Hosting a business online can be as little as $100 a month for software, you know, as ongoing expenses. When you think of a bricks and mortar business, you're looking at, you know, a couple $1,000s or more for just the lease of your space, let alone, you know, all the other things you're going to need. Hardware costs are also less expensive. You can literally run your business from a laptop, a cell phone, you know, as long as it has a good camera and a microphone. I always recommend a microphone because you're going to want a podcast and you need a good microphone for a podcast. But really, that's all you need. And I watched Gary Vee. Is everybody familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk? He says he doesn't even have a laptop anymore. He does everything from his cell phone, right? So you don't have to have a lot of technology in order to be able to run an online business. It's so much less expensive now than it ever used to be. And today with technology, it's so much like creating the platform, like what I teach is I don't actually create the platforms for my clients. I teach them the software and I show them how they can do it themselves. Things like Squarespace and Wix and Canva, there's so much potential for you to create your own materials, to create your own websites, to create your own foundation online for your business without having to hire and pay tons of money for, you know, designers and web designers to do all of this stuff for you. So it's never been cheaper for you to make an impact online with your business, because all of these DIY programs are available for you in the online space, and they're not that expensive to be a part of, right? So your opt-in, your landing pages, all of those things can be done by you. And it's not that difficult when you know how. So impact number 3, the impact is, oh, hey, Mel. Impact number 3 is that the impact on your own life when you own an online business. So that, you know, we talked about multiple streams of income already. So the cool thing about having your online business is that it's a stream of income for you, and it's not something that you have to, I'm kind of doing this in a reverse order, but it's something that you can do in part-time hours. It doesn't have to be a 40-hour work week kind of thing, having an online business. It's something that you can create some elements ahead of time, and then those elements can live online on your website 24/7, and people all over the world can find them and buy them. So it makes an impact on your income. Can you imagine you've got this business and you've created these great products, you've done some great work advertising and building a following, and you go to sleep at night and you wake up and you've got sales in your Stripe account because somebody's found your course and has bought it? Like, that's, to me, that's an impact on my life, to know that that kind of you know, that exists in this world, that I can create that kind of income for my life. And it's also complete flexibility. You know, having this online business, and I mean, I know there's a lot of you who are on this that, you know, already own online businesses, but to know that if I go to Bahamas tomorrow with my family and I still need to do a couple things, I can run my business from anywhere. I can live anywhere. I have complete flexibility with this, in this online space. So the impacts that it can have on your life and on other people's lives are huge, thanks to, you know, this whole being online piece of the puzzle. Awesome. Any questions on that so far? Okay, we're going to move into the next phase, which I want to talk about this fear, this number one fear that I find when I talk to clients, the biggest thing that holds them back from getting started in this is imposter syndrome. So I'm going to talk about imposter. Does anybody feel that? Does anybody know what I'm talking about when it comes to imposter syndrome? I have it. Everybody has it. So let's dive into that. So what is imposter syndrome? Basically, it's when you feel you're not worthy of your accomplishments, or that you doubt your abilities, and that no one will want to learn from you. No one will want to buy your stuff. No one will want to benefit from what it is that you have to offer. So you feel like, who am I? I can't do this. No one's going to, does any of this sound familiar? I don't want this. No, nobody's going to want to buy from me. Nobody's going to think that I'm, you know, I should be a coach. Nobody's, you know, thinks that I know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing, right? Like, so you get those self-doubts, that negative self-talk that kind of rolls around in your head. You guys, it took me a year before I started my online business because of the imposter syndrome. And I know that my coach, when I first hired my coach to help me start this business, he said to me, he said, Shayna, he goes, you just need to be a few steps ahead from the people that you're wanting to help. You just need to be a few steps ahead. You know, they say the grade 2 always looks up to the grade 3. So we all know things that people who are our ideal clients don't know yet, right? I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So what we fail to recognize with imposter syndrome, and I see you guys in the comments, absolutely is where you're at right now, the imposter syndrome. What we fail to recognize with this, you guys, though, is that everyone who is successful, everybody that you look up to, all the online business coaches, all the course creators, all the people that you look up to, they've all had it. They all started their businesses with imposter syndrome. And they were, so I'm going to read this. So we fail to recognize that everyone who is successful doing the very things we'd like to do had to start somewhere and had as much of the same fears and doubts that you have. So they all started with those. And here's the kicker, you guys, is those imposter syndrome things, they don't go away. Every level of success that you have in your business, every new stage that you go to, guess what? Imposter syndrome's right there. It's going to follow along with you. And the only way that you can get over it is to overcome. The only way you can't actually get rid of it, but you can overcome it. And so I'm going to give you some steps on how to get through the imposter syndrome that's kind of there, that's always nattering at you. Because it is always there, but everybody has it, you guys, everyone. So imposter syndrome, how to overcome it. So the first tip that I'm going to give you to overcome imposter syndrome is when you think of the business that you want to create, if you think of the ideal clients that you want to help and serve, you think the transformation that you want to share with people, okay? Think of that idea and that person. So get an idea of that, or a picture of that person in your head, and think of all the things that they struggle with, and how I want you to make a list of all the things that you know about that thing. So all that struggle, all the things that you know, what do you know about how to help that person? And write it all down. You guys, before I started my coaching business, and at the time when I started my coaching business, I was actually coaching something different. I was coaching network marketing. And I had this imposter syndrome heavy, and I hadn't started my business yet. And one night my husband just couldn't sleep, and he got up because we were talking about the business the night before, and we were talking about the ideas, and I was sharing my fears. And he got up in the middle of the night, couldn't sleep, and he grabbed a piece of paper. And I do have this paper somewhere. I wish I could find it. But this piece of paper, he wrote down like a whole page, 2-3 columns worth of topics. And the next morning he showed it to me, and he said, I wrote all these topics down. He goes, tell me that you can't answer all of these things. And I looked at that piece of paper. Actually makes me want to cry. I looked at that piece of paper, and I looked at the piece of paper, and I knew I could answer all of those things. And it was, for me, it was the visualization, it was seeing it all on paper, that I knew I had what it take to put myself out there. And then I didn't have an excuse. I had to do it because he just proved to me that I knew stuff. And so when I saw it all together on one sheet, I just kind of was like, you do know what you're doing. So get out there and do it. Right? So Jason says, and here we are. He's watching. I forgot he's watching. And so that piece of paper was pivotal for me because it gave me the courage to actually take the step. I could see in front of me that I knew what I was doing. So number 2 in overcoming imposter syndrome, you have to debunk the myth that you're different from other people who are successful. You aren't different. They have the same fears and doubts that you have currently today. The only difference is they have taken action regardless. They've taken steps through it, even though they're feeling it. That's the only difference. So get rid of that thinking of, who am I? I am different. No one's going to believe me. All of those things that make you feel isolated and scared. You've got to know that we all feel that. I had a conversation with my husband yesterday in the sunroom going like, what in the HELL whatever am I doing? Like, I have so many days where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't. But I know that I know that I'm going to figure it out, and I just keep going. You guys, we all have it. It's a roller coaster. Number 3, I want you guys to take the focus off yourself and focus on the people you're going to be serving. Who is the woman out there, or the man, who is suffering right now, who is struggling? You know, maybe she's struggling with her health. Maybe she's struggling because she has 4 kids and she can barely breathe. You know, she has no time for herself, and you have answers. You have things that are going to help her. And if you don't show up and start showing this woman how this ideal client of yours, how she can get through the day and still take care of herself, she's going to still suffer. She's going to continue to suffer, right? They're waiting for you. So take the focus off you and the scared feelings that you have, and put your focus on how you're going to be helping and serving people, the lives that you're going to change. Even if it's just one, it makes it worth it. Right? When I get the messages from people in my inbox or my DMs that, you know, hear a podcast episode and then they say like, oh my gosh, that changed my life, not changed my life, sounds like that really impacted me, you know, or that really, you know, helped me make this decision, or, you know, whatever it is, those positive things. When I used to do a ton of Facebook Lives, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I needed this today. You guys, that feeling made it worth it for me to show up every day, even though I was scared, because it wasn't about me. It was about the people that I was serving, right? So keep your focus on the service. And then you guys, the other thing to get through the imposter syndrome, or to move through it, is to just take the first step in building your business. Action builds confidence. When you start doing the work, the confidence starts to come. I'm way more confident in myself as a coach because I'm actually taking steps and putting myself out there. I'm signing up for masterminds. I'm reading books. I'm trying things. I'm learning. I'm going through obstacles and figuring it out. So I can actually feel confident in saying, yeah, I'm a business coach. I know what I'm doing because I've actually taken action and started. But if you sit in the fear and in the imposter syndrome, you're never going to get through it. You've got to start taking the steps. Okay, moving on. Is that good? Any questions on that? Okay, keep going. Okay, we'll see, and you guys, there'll be lots of time for questions at the end. Okay, so let's talk about how to make money with what you know. And I'm gonna give you 3 things that I teach in the whole sort of money making, or coming up to the making the product and making the sales. But you guys all know stuff. You all have stuff that's going to help and serve people. So yes, you can make money with this. You absolutely can make money with this. So how you make money with what you know is, number 1, you need to build a following. So you need to have people that you can actually share when you create the product, to share the product with. So if you go ahead and create the product and you have nobody to share it with, you're not going to make money. So you need to create the following first. And you build a following on your social media channels by giving away tons of free value that relates to your ideal client. So you use social media, which is free, and you give away content, whether you're doing, I built my business initially using Facebook Live. I was doing Facebook Lives 3 times a week, sharing content. And that's how I met Gina. That's how I met a lot of you guys, actually. And I would just build my credibility and I would build my following by showing up, doing these live videos and sharing what I knew with whoever was there to listen. So you could do Instagram stories, you could be doing Instagram lives, you could be doing IGTV, you could be doing YouTube videos, you can be doing all kinds of things. There's all kinds of free platforms out there that you can build this value with and build a following. Once you build the following, at the same time, you guys, you need to build an email list. Email lists are so important. If you do not have an email list, even if you're in network marketing, you need to have an email list of prospects, because guess what? Instagram and Facebook, they change the algorithms at their whim. We know they've shut down like for days at a time. Instagram has literally removed followers from people's accounts. Like, we don't have control over our followers. We don't own those accounts. They can shut them down at any given time. So if you are not building an email list, you don't have a list of people that you can actually sell something to. You can try to sell to your followers, but here's the thing: 94% of your sales will come from your email list. 6% of people hear about products people hear about products on social media, but they actually buy products through the emails. Whenever I sell my products, or I'm launching my masterminds, or I'm doing my stuff, it's the email contacts, the emails that are going out, the replies that are coming back, the conversations I'm having. That's where people move from being a prospect to a client. I've never had somebody go on to a link into my social media and just buy something. So your email list is where the conversations happen. It's where people get to know you. It's where you build rapport through having automated email strings. It's a non-negotiable in the online space. So once you have the following that you can convert those people to your email list, because you're going to create an opt-in, it's going to be awesome, and they're going to want your opt-in. They're going to get onto your email list. Then you create the product. And when you think about creating a product, I want you to think about, what do you know? Like, so when you think of your ideal client and what they're struggling with, how can you help them? What do you know that solves a problem for your ideal client? And here's the thing, guys, your ideal client is often a former version of you. So when you think of yourself a year ago, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when you were going through the struggles and you came out the other side, what were the things you wish you knew when you were going through the struggles? That's where you start with your product. That's where you think, what is the transformation I want to help people with? Because that's what people buy. They buy transformations. So what is the transformation that you're helping people with? And then when you think of that problem, when you think of that struggle, and you know you've been through that, reverse engineer your process. Like reverse engineer. When I think of building my online business, and I decided I wanted to go online and do it, I hired a coach, and he literally just said, step 1, you do this, step 2, you do that, step 3, you did this, step 4, you did that. Like he for me, it like, I didn't reverse engineer that, I guess. He kind of told me in order. But if you're thinking about the struggle, you know, what is that thing? And then what did you do first, second, third, fourth, and fifth to get through that? And sometimes maybe you have to kind of go, well, I got here because I did this, and then I got there because I did that, so on and so forth, right? Does that make sense? Reverse engineer the transformation. Use that information to create your online product. So I want to show you this graphic here. Now, this is one of the lessons actually I teach in my group coaching program, my mastermind. But this is an example of me sort of mapping out my new online course, and I actually use this in my mastermind as well. But for me, the problem is that online entrepreneurs, they need help building that foundation. They don't know what they need to create in order to build an online business. So then I went through the steps. Well, they need to have clarity. And then when I think of clarity, I think, okay, that's a module, that's a topic, that's a class, that's a lesson, depending on what kind of a product you want to create. And then what are all the things they need to know about clarity, right? And then branding, same thing. They need a brand. What are all the things they need to know about? So I just did like a brain dump, and I tried to organize it in modules or sections or classes, however you want to call it. And then this overall picture is what creates the product. And then you can package the product in different ways, right? So then, whoops, I hope this is helpful. So some different types of online products that you can create with what you know. You can create an online self-paced course. So what I just showed you, those could be video modules that I'm going to create, and then I'm going to give them the answers to all of those sections and what they need to do. Could be a group coaching program. So it could be, you know, once a week for 8 weeks, you get together online and you teach out those modules. Could be private coaching. So those could be the things that you're going to talk about in your private coaching calls. Could be a paid webinar, right? This could have very easily, I could have charged, you know, $29 to come on this if I wanted to, right? This could have been a product. It could have been, there's a lot of people, how many of you guys have joined a membership group now on Facebook? There's tons of membership groups now available where you can create a group on Facebook, and every week you're showing up and you're giving them content based on a certain, you know, transformation that you're offering. Printable PDFs, mini courses, Tripwire. I'm not going to teach that today. This is from my mastermind, but there's lots of ways that you can create products online. And here's the thing, you guys have probably all bought something like this online. If you bought something, a product online, type it in the comments. If you've bought an online course, if you've been part of a group coaching or a mastermind or a webinar, like you guys have probably all experienced this kind of thing. So what have you seen that you've bought that you think, like, you look at that and you go, that's something that I could create, that's something that I could do? And here's what I want to say is, don't overthink the way that those courses need to look or be. Some of the top business influencers in the space, in the online space, are literally doing courses. Everybody's saying all of them are literally doing courses where they're filming with their iPhone in their backyard, just talking. And that's like, there's like 8 of those videos, and that's an online course, and their dog's barking and the doorbell's ringing and shit's happening, right? It doesn't have to be totally mapped out and perfect. So don't let the technology or the things or the slides and all that stuff scare you, okay? And stopping you from doing this kind of work. I'm not even using my notes anymore. Let's just get rid of those. So does that make sense? Okay. So can you guys see the potential in the online space? Can you see the potential for yourself that you could have possibly in the online space? Type it in the chat message. Do you see that what it is that you've been thinking about doing, that there's potential for you to create something and make money in the online space? Yes, yes, good. And do you see yourself, you know, with the tips and things that I'm having, like, Are you able to overcome, like, do you think you can push through that imposter syndrome? Like, does that, that imposter syndrome, I know it's there and I know it's hard, but honest to goodness, like, you just have to do. You just have to do. That's the only way you're going to get through. It's the only way you're going to figure it out. Awesome. I see lots of yeses. I love that. Are you ready then to take action? Are you ready? I know I see a lot of people going, oh, I'm ready, but I'm not sure. But are you ready to take action on your idea? My husband's like, yes. Okay, good. Because you guys, there's somebody out there waiting for you. They're waiting for you specifically, because here's the thing. I'm going to say this other thing is that there may be 5 million health coaches out there, and you're thinking, I want to be a health coach, but oh, there's so many out there and so many are so good and they've been here for so long and they've been doing it a lot longer than me, and all of those things that are going on in your head, right? But nobody is a health coach and nobody teaches health and wellness like you. Nobody's been through the same experiences as you. And there is an abundant amount of people who do not relate to other health coaches, but they sure as heck are going to relate to you. And until you show up in that space, they can't find you. And they are not relating with anybody else. So think about that when you're thinking about the fear that's holding you back, okay? Okay, so if you're ready to take action on your idea, would having some help building that foundation, thinking about those pieces and parts, having somebody to, work with and have some strategy with, would that be helpful for you in getting started? Because as you know, the way that these things work, I have something that I've created that is going to help you guys. And I'm so excited about it. And I meant to mention at the beginning that I was going to be sharing something that I wanted, so stay on and all those things. And I forgot to do that, but that's okay. See, we're not perfect. Anybody can be an online business coach. Okay. And some of you guys have seen this already, but I have created a new version of the way that I offer my information. So one of the things as an online business owner that I truly believe is that if you have something that you want to market, focus on that one transformation. And then for me, my one transformation is building that platform, that business platform, to teach people to go from I'm scared and overwhelmed to, oh my gosh, look at how amazing my business looks. I feel so confident. I'm ready to put myself out there. I feel in that gap, but I have multiple ways to do that. Some people like to work with me privately. Some people like to do my group coaching, which takes 12 weeks. I have an accelerator program that we do over 2 days. And then I wanted to create a way for people to do it themselves, where if they maybe didn't have the bigger budget for themselves into building their business, or they just wanted to know what they needed to do, they wanted the tracks to run on and they want to do it themselves. That is why I created the 7 pillars of creating your online business. This is a do-it-yourself, step-by-step online course that's going to teach you how to create all of the things you need to have in place to put yourself out there in the online space confidently. And it's like I'm birthing a baby right now, you guys. I'm so excited. And so here's a little bit about what this program entails. It's super clear. I've got so many bonuses. I have so many great friends who have submitted some awesome material as bonuses as well. But through these 7 pillars, which are clarity, building your brand, how to create an email list, how to do the opt-in that goes with the email list, curating and building your social media following and your pages, how to build a website, what platforms to use, what needs to be on your website, how to create and build your first product. We kind of did a little bit of that tonight. How to offer it, how to launch it, how to launch your business, time management and mindset for success. And as well, I'm going to be adding in a Canva tutorial. I've got the Build Your Podcast Blueprint as a bonus. My great friends, Rachel Joy has a whole course on self-sabotage. Brittany Jones, who's a good friend of mine, she has a Selling on Instagram course. She's donated to this as well. My good friend Jim Carter, who is doing a module on SEO, because SEO is like technical wizard stuff, and I'm not great at explaining that. So Jim's amazing at explaining that, so he's going to teach SEO. My awesome friend Arvin is submitting a course on confidence, how to have more confidence. So lots of great stuff, you guys. I really wanted to make this so that anybody and everybody had an option, had a way to be able to get their mission and their message out to the world. You guys, you have lifetime access to the course, including updates, I already have like 3 or 4 other modules I want to add to this already as I'm thinking and going through it. Workbooks, there's going to be a Facebook, there actually already is a Facebook community for this group. So you guys have a community to work together, to share your stuff, to like you create your opt-in and you want some feedback, post it in the community. We're all here working together. And you guys, it's a one-time investment of $597 US, and that gets you into the course, lifetime access, all the modules, all the bonuses. And if you join before the end of July, so by July 30th, you also get 3 group coaching calls with me. So anybody who joins, we're going to have, starting in September, we're going to do 3, however long, 1 hour, an hour and a half calls where I'm going to be answering your specific questions on building your business. So it's just going to be whoever joins, we're going to be together on these Zooms, and I'm going to be helping you answering your questions and doing that kind of stuff. There is a payment plan. So if that's more your jam, you can do the payment plan. And it's also 30 days. You have 30 days to kind of go through and look at the stuff. And if you decide it's not for you, I'm happy to give you your money back. That's it. That's it. And I did this because I just really want people who can't, do the more personal coaching and more stuff still have a way to build a business. Or there's people like myself that are like, sometimes we just want to get things done. We don't need to be part of the bigger group, right? We just want to just learn it and do it. So it's also for those people as well. So there's the action taker bonus. If you sign up before the 30th, you get the 3 group coaching calls with me and all that good stuff. Thank you guys. I hope that that's exciting for you. If you want to take it, here's where you need to know is that if you do want to take part in this course, if you just go to shanarecker.com, and Jason, if you're listening, you can just post the link in the comments, and you can get signed up. Access to the modules starts on August 1st. So everything will be available for you August 1st. You can get signed in, get part of the group coaching stuff, and Jason will post a link in the comments there while we are just going here. And Jason, you can just go to my website to grab that link, which is shanarecker.com. All right, guys, I want to open it up. I want to unshare the screen, and so that we can all be together as a group here. And what questions do you have about what I coached on, about online business? Like how can I help and serve you guys tonight? What questions do you have for me? Let her rip. Don't be shy.
I think I get stuck if I could ask. I wrote down a couple things. It's basically probably the same that everybody has as far as feeling overwhelmed I feel like I have a lot of content to give on social media, but I get so overwhelmed that I'm like, oh, forget it. Just forget it. So I need help really kind of organizing that, having some sort of system and laying out maybe 4 topics. And then maybe, I don't know, from there, I just need an expert like you to that's kind of where I'm needing a push. That'll help me be more consistent.
More consistency. Well, and there's lots of things out there that you can use to create schedules and organize content. Like you can batch content ahead of time so that you're not always trying to last minute. And I'm not saying that's what you do, but last minute try and put things out there. A lot of times people will have themes for the month. So if maybe your theme for January is on confidence, then you can from there go, okay, Monday's Instagram post is going to be this. I'm going to do a live on Wednesday, something about confidence. Friday's post is going to be Friday fun. So maybe it's not about confidence. It's about something a little bit more fun and just off the thing. But having that theme kind of helps you plan out your content for whether it be a month or a week or how long you want to talk about that specific topic. And then the other thing is like, just do a big brain dump of all the things topic wise that you want to share. And can you compartmentalize that into either themes or like, Mondays, or this day when I do my live, because here's the thing, consistency online is the best thing that you can do. So if you're going to be doing lives, do them every Tuesday at 1:00 or whatever your date and time is. So then, Tuesday at 1:00, you have to have content to go live. So what is your live going to be? And then you at least know you have a week to plan your next live. For content wise, and same with your Instagram posts. Like I try and do Mondays a motivational post, Wednesdays a wisdom post, Friday is a fun post. Does it always work out that way? No, but it's my plan. It's what I'm going for. So, to say that there's a one size fits all way to do it, it's just consistency, number one. And number two, if there's a theme that you want to go by, that helps. And at the very end of the day, as long as you're showing up and doing something versus like you're sitting still, you have all this content, you're doing nothing. I'd rather see you be inconsistent but still show up than to not show up at all. Right?
Right.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. I wrote down several notes. I know for me, I don't like planning my content out as far as like on that, is it paleo or not paleo, but
Planoly and plan and
yeah, all that. I'm very spontaneous and very feeling by the moment and want to share it because I just feel like it's more authentic when I do it that way versus planning out the whole week. And I don't even know. So, and then I end up posting something else based on a feeling that day or a question somebody asked me that I wanted to share. So, but I like the theme part. And it's just something
what I would say to you then is just have consistent dates where you're going to show up and you tell your audience, I'm going to be here every Tuesday at 1:00. And that way you just need to be live on Tuesday, but you can talk about whatever you feel like is going on with you on Tuesday at 1:00. Like I used to do Tuesdays tips, Thursdays thoughts, and so Tuesdays I would show up live and give a tip, an actual tip of some sort. And then Thursday I'd just be like, I was thinking about this kind of thing, like it would be a little bit more loose. It wouldn't be so like rigid as an actual tip. So give yourself some sort of structure, but let the content be loose. Like let the content be like spontaneous.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Good question. Does anybody have any other questions for us tonight?
I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead, Tina.
I am curious. So if you had to, I'm just getting started in my network marketing. So I am curious, and I'm sorry, I'm driving, so that's why I'm not looking at you.
Safe.
Don't tell anyone. If I only want to start with one social media to begin with, what would be your recommendation? And is there a maximum amount of times that you should be showing up in a week?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the social media platform depends on your niche. So where is your niche hanging out? So if your niche are, 20s to, 40s, then I would probably go Instagram. If your niche is 40s to 60s, I would probably go Facebook. I think that, to be honest, as business owners, and I'm just learning a little bit more about this now, we all need to start playing on LinkedIn. So definitely put that on your radar. But Instagram, I feel is if I had to pick between Facebook and Instagram, I mean, I think you still need both because there's a lot you can do. Here's the thing. If it's overwhelming to think I have to go on both accounts, when you create a business Facebook page, you can actually attach that to your Instagram account. And then when I do a post on Instagram, it auto shares to my Facebook page, my business page. So now I'm getting content on my business page without actually physically having to go and post on both. So find things like that you can do to help you be in both spaces. But I would say Instagram and focus on content, putting it on Instagram, and then set up those auto things for your Facebook business page. I rarely post stuff on my Facebook personal page. Like most of the time it's somebody tagging me in something. That's what my feed is full of on my personal page. I'm mostly in my groups on Facebook and I'm using my business page and then I'm playing in Instagram. I hope that helps, Tina.
That does. Thank you so much.
Facebook groups are really popular. And I think that's an important thing to have too, especially as a network marketer for your clients and then your team. That's mainly what I'm using when I'm on Facebook. But Instagram chat messages are also becoming really popular. So having people clumped into a chat message on Instagram is also starting to become almost like a group.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if you don't know what your online product is going to be or supposed to be? Like, is there an exercise to kind of or is that part of the brain dump to dump down all the things, that you possibly have that you could share and sort through, and then go through there? And do you wait to find like, okay, I'm really passionate about, coaching, but I'm shy about doing a webinar or a podcast? Or like, how are you deciphering does that come to you through the process?
It's a good question. And yes, so I've talked about this with many of my clients who come to me and they're like, I don't know what I'm actually going to sell, but I know I just need to create this thing. And so what happens is as you take steps and start to build your brand, as you take steps and start to deliver the value and build the following, there's a couple of things that can happen. One, your audience, your ideal clients that are showing up on your profiles, you can start asking them questions, start surveying them through your Insta stories, find out what they want, what they need, where do they need help, and then you can start to develop a product or a program around what you're finding your ideal clients are attracted to or gravitating to or answering in the stories and stuff. So you can collect data and figure out what maybe you should be creating. But I know for me, I built my online brand first and started just delivering massive value. And it was like 6 months or so before I actually figured out my first product and did that sort of reverse engineering. So for me, because I started out coaching network marketers, I was giving value, building the audience, getting an email list going. And then I was like, you know what? The thing that people want the most is that whole, like, they want to be a 6-figure network marketer. Like they want to know how to be like that top level network marketer, make the 6 figures a month or 6 figures a year kind of thing. So then I just reverse engineered that. What are the things that are so important in order for someone to get from 0 to 6 figures? And then I chunked that out into modules or chapters, right from like, the basics of, getting your business started and launching it, right through to leadership, training your team and all that kind of stuff. And it just, to me, it was like, it just made sense in the space. And then I started creating from there. So you don't have to necessarily know exactly what your product's going to be, because to be honest, you're not going to see the whole staircase. You've got to start taking the first step and then the next step, and then the things start to show up. If you wait until you have your whole business figured out before you actually start, you'll never get started. So it starts when you start to build the brand and start giving the value. And here's the thing with me, you guys, I started coaching network marketing. After about 1.5 years was like, something isn't right. I love coaching and training, but for me, I realized it was the topic that I was training on that just didn't jive with me. I had to pivot, and that could happen to you also, but you won't know that until you start. Good question.
Good. Thank you. That makes more sense.
Shayna, I've got a quick question on your pillars. Do you talk about the types of the online products that I know you had a different options that we could do, but do you talk about that and teach that? Because that's something that, like, I know my brand and know what I want to do, creating a website right now, but I want to implement some products in my website so people can click to, but I don't know how to do that. That's where I really get stuck too.
Yeah, is creating the products. Yeah. And I teach you the different products and how to go through the outline. And then I talk about, like, if you're going to do an online course, like what 7 Pillars is, it's literally video. It's me doing a Zoom chat like this with slides, and I'm recording over top of the slides and training. And I get the MP4 and I upload it. Now I use Kajabi depending on the software you use. But yeah, there's information on how to create the product and then how to put it together. But there's different ways to do it. So it just depends on what software you invest in. And I talk about different software that you can use to host courses and stuff like that.
Okay. And then on the calls, is that something that we could elaborate more with? Let's say if I use, I don't know, a leadpage.com or even MailChimp, if I've got some specific questions on that, I guess during the call, you can guide me on maybe a Zoom and we can work at it together. We can utilize that call anyhow, or?
Yes. So the 90-minute strategy call, that one-on-one call, you can utilize that for whatever. And because I'm a graphic designer and I have a lot of technical experience with a lot of the software, for a lot of my clients, I'll even go, give me your login and I'll log into your stuff and go in and help you tweak or move or finesse it, however you're struggling.
Awesome. I'm sold.
Yay, we're so welcome. I'm so excited to be working with you. It's going to be good.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I love it. Any questions, guys? Any other questions? And you guys, you can always reach out to me privately if you're, I know sometimes speaking on these things is not always fun, but you're always welcome to reach out to me privately, whether it be by email, shaynais@shaynarecker.com. You can go into my DMs on Instagram is @ShaynaRecker, or on Facebook, and I can answer any questions you have personally as well. But if there aren't any other questions, thank you guys so much for being here tonight with me and chatting with me on this Zoom. I need to take a picture. I know a lot of you guys don't have your video on, but that's okay. Don't worry about your hair, Gina. We are top notch tonight. Oh, thank you guys for turning your cameras on. You're so sweet. Okay, let's just smile. I love it. So thank you guys for being on. I appreciate, love you guys. If you have any questions about the program or working with me to any capacity, let me know. Thank you for all your love and support, and I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shayna. Good night.
Bye.